Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Barcast TV. It's me, Barcast. How's it going? Gonna open up the stream a little bit differently today and give you maybe a sense of direction of where we'll be taking the channel. In some regards, I've been doing a lot of live streams lately, and I want to do a better job interacting with you all. So I thought doing live streams of Open Academy tickets would be a good way to do that. So even if it's not your ticket, you can always like watch and observe and ask questions. But if it is your ticket, maybe you can. Well, it'll be a good reference for you, of course. So that being said, we've got at least one 8v8 to look at, and then I have a replay from FN Tyler, an 8v8 player who's been trying to get into 1v1s. So we're gonna take a look at that and see if we can offer him any good feedback, which it's on Feast of Hades, which I've got a lot of practice games on, and I'm sure we'll be able to give him some good advice. I've noticed most of the time when doing Academy tickets, it's just like macro mistakes generally, or perhaps that's just what I want to look at or noticed first of all. So that's what we'll be looking at in most of these games, and I'll add some added context. So let me switch over to Bar here and we'll get this up. So I believe I've downloaded the game. Excuse me, I haven't uploaded them to the folder. So let me just do that now. And this is one was played on, what is this? Okay, so the 4th and the 5th. So one of them is on Pawn Retreat. I think this is the one right here. 20. Player's name we're looking for, actually. Let me dig that up, and then I'll add like some of what he posted. Is he's playing as That Bread. There he is. Okay, so we'll start it off with this one. Once again, if you want to get like included in any of these reviews, you can submit an Academy ticket on the main Discord. Just paste the URL from the replay site and tag @mentor. You can also upload the replay too. I prefer downloading them. It's just easier, I think. Anyways, we'll take a look at this, see some of the mistakes. 26 projects, as he's known on the Discord, the main Discord, what he did wrong. So he adds, I've been trying to return to some high tier lobbies recently, and I've been noticing that I'm generally speaking playing from behind versus many of these players. I feel like I'm doing something categorically wrong in these lobbies and the later stages of T1 that is causing issues. I seem to get into a situation where I'm getting trapped making T1 units and feel like I can't risk scaling or the lane will break. This generally leads me to be behind in the T2 stage. So I think that's a common mistake players make, and we'll have to dive into this and see, like, get some added context. And I already can see he's up against Panok over here, playing this position on Pawn Retreat, which I guess we can talk about this map a little bit. There's not much to say past that. It's mostly just like a standard 8v8 map where you end up playing like kind of like a lane, but notice the 312 wind speed, which is below average, I'd say, and there's a significant amount of energy reclaimed on this map. And then something else to note, or I guess the most notable thing, is there's a single geo on this hill kind of tucked in the middle, which getting to the AGO, I'd say, is perhaps the most important thing you could do as a team on this map, is just get that AGO turned on, and you have your energy slider down below converters, and suddenly you have like your whole team can benefit from this really efficient structure. So I think generally speaking, if I'm playing on this map, if I was playing this position, or if I was playing like most any of these positions, right? If this is the teching player, right, or say this is the teching player, just make sure like this is happening, right? They're getting set up, they're getting the T2 con out, they're landing there and getting that produced, right? Turning that on. So like that's the most important thing. And that's kind of a long intro to this. We can unpause it and get to the game.
Battle paused. Battle started.
if you've won your lane in the T1 stage, this is when I'm like zooming out and I'm looking at the teching player and seeing where they're at. And I'm like, can I just reclaim my lab, pay them for the T2 con? If we don't have an air player, you can reclaim your lab, pay them for the con, try and get like an air lab built, or maybe do this out of order. Like basically what I'm saying is get a transport out, because that's like one of the most important ways or easiest ways you can like really speed up getting onto a T2 economy, which obviously down the road gives you more units, which you can win your lane in the T2 phase, or pressing advantage harder. But we'll see what happens here. This is a 1-2 max open. I'm not sure what's standard here, as a matter of fact, but I know at least this walk is perfectly reasonable, right? You can just walk here and do 2 max open. Bots or vehicles is like a little sus, and I see we're actually making two blitz immediately, and then con, which is a big blunder. So I can explain why. You're already a little behind on metal because you can't do a 3 max open, so this is gonna, hence you're gonna run out of metal more quickly. So kind of have to be cognizant of that. Playing as vehicles, it's a little more stressful than bots. Or not stressful, but a little more difficult to balance the metal off of a 2 max open. So at least I would say you have two options. Two better options would be going rover first or con first, right? And most of the time I'd lean towards going maybe rover first here, just because you had to do that bit of a walk. So your opponent's units, you can see his lab he went for a 3 max, but this one also walks a little bit too. This lab's almost finished, right? So I guess you can protect yourself a little bit better, but I'd really advise like changing your vehicle open to something like you can go 2 scouts on, 3 scouts on, and then do like 5 blitz, something like this. And you would like walk out when your second con, you would leave the base with your commander once your second con finishes. Your first con goes and expands, and then the second con stays on the lab and assists it. Then the commander moves out once that con's finished. And pretty stable open. Like you have like the 5 scouts out to scout or else then defend yourself if need be. Mostly scouting, but see, this is where things aren't looking good, right? It's like we've ran out of metal, we've ran out of energy. We're assisting the lab with our commander, and if you can see that there's a lightning bolt above his head, that means he is not using his max build power. Let me turn this setting off. And now we're forced to break like what I would call like almost a cardinal rule, is to just not, well, let me see if you actually do it. Okay, you didn't quite leave the lab. I was gonna say if you do, that's a big blunder. Let's see. Yeah, it's like we got baited into making the second solar, right? Which really hurts opens, but you do have a little bit of metal here, and I'd say that you'd be in a much different situation if you had gone like scouts and cons, because we wouldn't be out of metal here. Our energy would be like kind of stable, like we're not like stalling energy exactly at this moment, but like if you had more metal and you were assisting your con out and then you started running out of energy, then you can sit here and make some wind turbines, go back to assisting the lab, right? But this open is a little sus, so I don't mean to beat you up too bad in this early game, but as we were alluding to earlier, like a lot of mistakes I noticed are just straight up macro mistakes. So I've noticed a few things so far. It's like these little walks too, even, and it's like we're accessing metal, we're accessing energy right now, not using the commander's build power. So these are just hallmarks of something that can be optimized. I do like the radar, that's nice. Got the two incisors, but I think fundamentally this open could be changed, right? Because you don't have anything to scout and get vision for these right now, and they're not out on the map being aggressive. Like there might have been some avenue, some lane where this could have gotten damage. I would say the tanks are kind of weak against this position specifically because this choke point is so short. I guess you can like bully your way into this position and snipe one Vex, but I'd say for what it's costing you to do those potential moves is not getting out early cons and build power. Like these could have been built already. This could have been built already with a con, right? Which would, it's just all going to build up to a better and better T2 transition, but better and better getting to T2 mexes and effusion. Let me turn on my chat real fast so I can see you guys, or at least bring it to a place where I can see it. Actually, where is that window? Yeah, I don't see it. That's weird. Sorry, I'm just trying to bring up this chat window in case you guys have any questions. Docs. There we go. Sorry about that. Oh, okay, we're making a con turret. This is like another like kind of cardinal rule, I'd say. I mean, you can kind of break it, but like this is, I would never build con turrets unassisted. Like never leave a lab unassisted. Just never leave a lab unassisted. Don't build con turrets with a single like construction vehicle or construction bot or construction aircraft or whatever it's called. I don't see... Okay, these are more incisors, right? Okay. See, we don't have a scout with these, so I'm thinking this might get degunned pretty quickly here. No, but we do run back over the guns. And I see we're furiously microing that. Yeah, so I mean, that was like 400 something metal, which... Like, we could just have a scout, like... What is this? How much metal is a scout? It's like 30... 31. A 31 metal scout is going to tell you, okay, there's two commanders there, so I can't attack with tanks, right? They'll just get on in this terrain and go up this one narrow ramp, right? A commander's standing right there, and it's like, ha! We're degunned, right? So don't do that. That's why you see, like, this really attrition-y style with, like, longer range units or even medium tanks, but those are pretty early. Those are pretty expensive to be producing this early. So we got some Janus out, which are really nice, frankly, against commanders, and they don't fare well against rocket bots. Maybe they do. Like, it's weird. It's just like a micro thing, but let's see how this plays out. Okay, so we're making LLTs and walls. I like to build them a little bit farther in front of the LLTs, and that's just by reason of like the walls are good at obviously blocking like projectiles and stuff, but it actually also can double as preventing an enemy commander from like walking forward. So if you can kind of like hold them back and say have to like degun the wall to step forward and degun the LLT, that's just going to slow them down. They'll take more damage. Alright, so added 3 LLTs. We've made two Janus are going back into Blitz. And then we have, yeah, Whistler Artie, which I do like. 1 con scaling. I'd go energy storage before the A solar, and obviously before the second con turret as well.
Battle paused. Battle started.
So he's going rocket bots, which you just go like Whistler, basically. Whistler Janus, maybe. And there's a... Let's count these mexes, actually, because this is an interesting lane position here. So what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he gets 6 mexes, and you're on 1, 2. I would say I would generally want to see you going for this one. Like, first con goes here, and then something like that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So only when you've pushed up to here would you actually be even on metal income versus. So that's important to remember, like, as far as like playing this position goes. and where you want to be. He's a little bit overscaling energy. I'd see. Okay, there's a couple energy converters going up. So I mean, he's playing well, right? He's doing what he needs to be. He's got radars and LLTs and rocket bots, and he's at the front line. So these blitzes I don't like because they fall off, and these choke points versus these LLTs, you'd want to be going for something more like just more whistlers, or just like keep these back here in case there's like a run by. So I can sprint forward and intercept those. Let me turn the sound down a little bit. And just making more whistlers, right? Getting those shots out from the Janus. You need to be like going like this and just repairing them on the way back, which you're doing. Going in, getting the shot off, and then just pulling back, right? Just arcing it away from the units you shot at. Got the whistlers out. You can put these on fight move. That's a little bit of an easier way to just have them park and shoot at things that are in their range.
Commander destroyed.
The beamer's nice. They're good against rocket bots for sure. And these contours are a little too far forward. I'd like to see it maybe something like a little, maybe back here or back here even. Put 2 contours there. So what are we, 8 minutes, 9 minutes into the game? Oh, you do go energy storage first. Okay. So we're 9 minutes into the game. This is when I'm really like zooming out and I'm trying to see what happened. Trying to see what's happening. Right, and we can see Polygon has got the T2 con out. He's got his geo finished, which is really nice. He needs to get transport, which he has. Okay. So this is where I'm thinking like, all right, how do I get a T2 con, right? And it all basically boils down to like you can either save up the metal or just reclaim your lab, give it to that player, and then get the T2 con, right? Get a transport from the air player because it's obviously way too far to do this. Walk it, it takes too long, it's ridiculous. So you just get the transport and then fly it to your main base, right? But you know, in this position, we've got 2 Janus out, beamer, multiple LTs or commanders there. We've got, what is this? 5 whistlers, 2 Arty, are they? Yeah, 2 Arty. So I'm already kind of like feeling comfortable in this position if I was in this position as you, which up to far, like I know we've made some mistakes, but all of this has been like relatively good, right? Or you've been doing the right things essentially. Just I'm pointing out some of the mistakes we're making. And I really think we could even be in a better position, like if we didn't make, what, I think we've made 6 blitzes or something like that. So on top of like an earlier con for earlier expansions. And not really, I guess, wasting metal. Like I guess I think they're around the same price as the Whistler, right? It's 110 to 150. Okay, so 40 more metal is the Whistler. You could have like 3 more of those, and then I'd really start feeling comfortable, right? Like 8 Whistlers, 2 Arty, 2 Janus, and a commander can get a lot done versus this many. And we can see your lane opponent already just has T2 vehicle lab on the front line here, ready to go. He's already reclaimed his lab, so it's like which is kind of ambitious, right? Because there's a T2 lab behind him. Like he could just get units from there. I think what would it be? Like a radar bot, a jammer, and like 5 hounds would just whittle away at this over time, right? Couldn't do anything about it. So in this position here, I'd really start thinking about making a 2-2 transition, which is all about just tapping your mexes, essentially. So we'll see how long it takes us to get some kind of T2 con. It's around like 8 minutes, 9 minutes. I'd start feeling comfortable. It's a bit unfortunate we're stalling energy right now, but that is what it is. You can always like walk your commander back, build some wind turbines here or something like that. Just use that. Build power. He's kind of just chilling there. You can't assist this because you're stalling energy. Actually, we're building an A solar and we've made 2 of these so far. So I'm noticing this energy issue that's been going on for a while, and we've made these super intensive energy structures when could really just be like adding on extra wind turbines with our scale, the single con here, and just like making units. We could also like stop making units for a moment to even get over this hump, like maybe finishing that one A solar, right? So what are those in terms of cost actually? So it's 5,000 energy for the A solar, and I think it's, I'm actually, let me double check. 3,200, okay. So you can see like the price differences of these structures, right, compared to each other. Like 175 energy for a wind turbine, 2,100 for a Whistler, 2,600 for a Janus. So to get over those energy humps, like before you have an energy storage, you really got to pay attention to like what you're doing with your commander's build power, essentially. Because in my turn, a lot of times I like to play like a better wind speed maps. It's like it's easier to get up these like high energy structures, but you can use your commander's build power in this like early stage of the game a lot more to just be making wind turbines. He's really good at doing that. Okay, and now things are. Was he gifted metal? Actually, you wanna see? Did he get that all on his own? Yeah, not bad. And look at this. What is this? 44 wind turbines, 202 converters, and 1 energy storage. And I don't see he got metal from anyone unless I just missed it. But already has, yeah, T2 lab out and a Tsar, which can also point out some of like the metal differences. So what did he make? He made 4 LLTs. You made 3, but the Beamer and the Sneaky Pete, right? Which is, just start adding all this up maybe. So call that 100, right? So what, 200, 400, plus the Sneaky Pete, which is another 2,400. One, 2, 3, okay. 500. This is 240, so that's 740 metal. This is another 210, so that's 420 more. So that's like almost 1,000 metal right there. This is 1,000, almost 1,000 metal. This is like another like 300, right? So all this I'm saying can be like, okay, that can be T2. If you're if your opponent's playing like passive, I guess he traded out all his rocket bots. I wish I could back up, but another thing you can do on top of another thing you can do on top of not building these defensive structures is to actually be reclaiming your T1 units while you're making a T2 transition. So I know I talked about, I guess there's really 2 options. Is you can either kind of stop making units, buy the T2 con from the teching player, and focus on operating your mexes, or you can be making a T2 transition to take T2 units, which is exactly what our man Pinnock has done here. We'll see how effective this Tsar is. I guess the Sneaky Pete kind of paid for itself though, because like, does he see your commander? Okay, yeah, I guess that's obvious that's a commander, right? So weren't able to like cloak this. I guess this is when you have to like back up and build another one here even, and like stay back there. So you have to like get cloaked that well. I guess that's what you do. Oh shit. All right. I mean, this is a good response, right? Because Tsar is pretty good unit against T1, and yeah, now all your T1 units are dead. So I guess we should have reclaimed them, right? Yeah, see, Polygon's playing well. He's got AGO up. He's got 6, 7, 8 T2. We'll call it 8 T2 mexes, and this guy's has not. Just now has a T2 con out. Excuse me. He's got 6 T2 mexes. Okay, but no AGO, which is a bit of a blunder, I'd say. And now finally we have a T2 con. Where did you get that from? A Nox. Okay, a Nox gave you one. after he tapped his mexes. Okay, wow, what a guy. Yeah, even now, making blitzes is just not the play, for sure. Because this is just wasting metal, like... I guess if we backed up a few minutes, like... Hey, let's actually just reload this. Sorry, I wish I could rerun, but in the replay I can't. So I want to go back to 8 minutes and look and see. What his T1 army was versus yours. And like when he stopped making rocket bots. Cheers. So after this, yeah, we'll be going into the I should actually wrap this up pretty quickly. I should be going into a 1v1 replay on Hades, Feast of Hades.
Battle started.
Okay.
Battle paused. Battle started.
Did he make a vehicle lab and reclaim it, or did he get a vehicle con?
Battle paused. Battle started.
All right. There we go. Okay, so 718, he started reclaiming his his bot lab. He was making a contrit. Does vehicle lab con,
Commander.
reclaims the lab. Ten rocket bots. And he's just like skirmishing. This is so risky, honestly. Wait, where's his commander? Died right here. Huh. Wow, this was nice. Oh, and he gets a T2 con from someone. Excuse me. Right, so we can see like this window of time between like 8 minutes and now, till now, when like we could have been making a T2 transition ourselves or getting a T2 con and a transport from our teammate. And it's kind of just like pick your poison. Say if you go on the T2 route, T2 con route, you can always like coordinate with this player behind you about getting T2 units, see if someone's around you getting them, because like once you have T2 mexes online, you can start giving them metal, and it's like, well, they already have the lab mate and the build power, and it's like they're just like moving these quality units like I guess closer. Like ideally like this guy would have been teching and he would have made his lab like here or something like that, but or like here, I don't know, build power right here. To deal with this, right? But and then the alternative is to just start thinking about making this T2 transition around 8 minutes, or figure out what the lane situation is like. Like if you're losing, obviously you can't transition, but at that point you can like say, oh, hey stud, I'm like losing over here, or asking an Ox to do that, help you out. So hope this helped. Of course, we're always we like to encourage people who submit tickets to like, you know, come back, submit another one, kind of reflect on the feedback, and then we'll just continue improving from there. So hope this helps, and see you in the next one. Right, so let's move on to this FNT versus somebody on Feast of Hades, which is another map I really enjoy. And if you guys are just joining us, welcome. Hit the like button. This is just like a Bar Academy review. this ticket specifically isn't from the academy, but I asked FNT to send me a replay because he was talking to me about 1v1s, so we're gonna take a look at it real fast. But if you guys, I think I'm gonna be doing these more frequently, just live replay reviews. So if you want to have this, you want to get out, have this, have your video featured on the channel, just submit them to the Bar Academy, and if it's interesting, it's a 1v1, right? If it's from a tournament, I'm more inclined to look at it, right? But just like to look at things I think are
Battle
interesting,
started.
which isn't every ticket, but we have a lot of great mentors there. So turns out most of the replays end up getting covered, or most of the submissions end up getting covered. But yeah, we got our man FNT here playing as the Blue Armada Commander versus Camel. It's the Red Cortex Commander sitting at 27 OS from Italy, right? And we got FNT sitting at 34S, playing from the USA. Okay, we did that cute solar trick, right? Solar. Kind of speed through this. Resbot first, yeah, 3 ticks, okay. Making wins, this looks good so far. Need to make more wins. Oh, the lab is idle, that is not ideal. Come over here and naked expand, what is this? Damn, that's nice, okay, good job. You can make the radar here, something like that, with your commander, and then like have ticks this way, here and here, right? Because that'll save you did a time. This is an okay radar. Also walk past this hill to make one. Okay, so we made a lot of pawns. I don't hate. 6 pawns. We have 2 ticks up here, a 3rd tick over here, versus a vehicle start, which has 4 incisors. He made an LLT and his commander's still on the main base, so I'm not sure if you know exactly all this stuff. You've seen both. You do see both. Okay, that's good information. Second con is out. We're still stalling energy, which I think we could have added on a few more energy turbines with our commander up until this point. I think I saw us like, I guess the lab sat idle for a moment for one, but yeah, scale the energy a little bit better, and then this obviously should be expanding. So where is this con going? Not expanding yet, that's why. Don't hate the 3rd solar, but yeah, if you see this lightning bolt, it's like you just know it's, yeah, ooh, we're stalling energy on these mexes too. Not ideal. So yeah, adding on more. I'm kind of getting worried about this macro situation here. Seen a few mistakes so far. This commander sitting here idle is not good, and accessing energy also not good. Oh, we were attacking on the other side of the map. Let me slow this down. Excuse me. We're attacking on the other side of the map. We got the LLT, but didn't quite get the con. I think these 2 cons are going to go down, which I would just be like snap pulling this resbot over here to start resing those. I think you could have saved this con. Yeah, I think we could have actually. That's a bit of a blunder. I would do exactly what you're doing, making another resbot, sending that over there. This con, and then our commander is expanding. So I'll just pause it here. From this position, I've kind of been adapting a commander walk I've seen that I really like, is just you go here at the commander, here, skip this one, skip this one too. Probably don't have to, honestly. You just walk there and make it walk up. Maybe I should start adding those, but this path is just the same. Make an LLT here, right? So you do this loop here, you end up back at the lab, which I really like because it's safe and you can just sit there and make wind and assist the labs. You can make a few solars along the way as you see them, as you need them, right? You end up back at the lab. But you know, after that little scuffle and like losing the 2 cons, I would have be sending this resbot over there too, even, right? Because it's like that picking these up is the most important thing you could be doing right now, on top of just making wind turbines with your commander, because we're stalling either that or solars. But we have 700 metal in the bank, so if that's the case, I'd say maybe make like 2 solars with the commander and then move out. But got the con turret up, which is nice. Got some energy scaling here, which is okay, but we need to be spending this bank, right? Which I think the best thing we could be doing is probably just making solars with our commander. Even now when we're trying to make the second con turret, so. Hey Alex, good to see you, man. We've got some raiding pawns back here, which I'd always note is they're not being escorted by a tick, which we could be doing right now. That would give you a lot better information on where his LLTs and cons and tanks are. You might even be able to find like this loop right here, maybe even shoot through this gap, right? Get to the back of the main base. But we need to get over this like energy stall, which has just been like a big issue in this game. I think that's the biggest issue I've really seen so far. Like losing cons and stuff happens, right? Not killing, like, oh, getting a con to 21% happens. Like, I understand that, but the winter, the E situation has been a little subpar this game, I'd say. Or like the area you could focus on the most to improve. And then not letting an incisor kill. This is nice. We have 3 res bots though. That's pretty cool. And this is where this like map snowballs, so, or this position snowballs out of control because you have 1100 metal. So I think the biggest advice I could give you is really, and this is a style I've adopted from Autopilot, is you just sit in the main base and like make wind turbines with your commander. You get up the con turret, you get up the wind turbines and your energy storage, right? And that's really what you're focusing on with this build, with this commander's build power. I think on Feast of Hades or on 14 wind speed maps in general, you can lean a little more solar heavy. I guess more so if you're playing vehicles, it works a little bit better, but bots, of course, are a little more energy expensive. But don't be afraid to make solar panels with your commander. It's on 14 wind speed maps. It's totally fine. Even getting to like T2 with them, and once you have your fusion, just reclaim them. So don't reclaim the solar panels until you have the fusion up. I'll just say that. But these cons could be expanding. We've lost our radar, so you need to like remake it in your main base, something like that. Because I don't believe we see these units. Yeah. Out of the fog of war, incisors appear, right? So feels bad, man. I think that's about it on this. I could add one more thing, which I see you've been doing pretty well. Like we've made 1, 2, 3, 4. We had made 4 cons so far. I'd say that's pretty good against, maybe you'd have like 1 or 2 more 7 minutes into the game versus vehicles, but against vehicle players, I'd say like, because their cons move faster and have more build power, right? 51 speed versus 36, right? You need to be cognizant that you need to keep, I'd say the way I think of it is like, you need to keep up with the amount of build power they have expanding, right? So if it's automatically, like say they have 2 expanding cons, which is 95, what is that? 190, right? 2 expanding cons is 190 versus like a construction bot would be 160, right? So at a certain point, it's like, well, if they have 3, you'd want 4 or something like that. Don't quote me, but Alex says, I always struggle to spend all the metal. Yeah. It's a great problem to have, right? Because the steps, it's easy to fix, I'd say, or it's the steps we need to take to correct it are a little bit easier than other problems we can have. Bling bar, right? Like, oh, atomic bombers are sniping my commanders. What do I do? You know, what a problem to have. But not spending your metal is a pretty easy one. where was I going with that? I think we said our piece. Like this is the expansion path. Well, I'm just suggesting this, right? This is your expansion path with your commander. Maybe the first con would go like, let's say you pick these up with your commander. First con goes like this, right? Caps these three mexes, right? Adds a radar there and an LT. Your second con might do something like put a radar there, max, right? Something like this. Third con goes like that. Fourth con goes like this, right? So on and so forth. Some basic things I like to always tell players or suggest to players is fourth con scales energy. Get an energy storage around 300 energy per second. Don't leave the main base till you have like a con turret finished. Don't leave the main base with the commander until your con turret is finished. And making metal storage in 1v1s is always a sign. At 7 minutes and 37 seconds is always a sign. We could be doing something different, right? But hope this one helps. If you want to send me another replay or have a back and forth, just shoot me a message. And I think we can now we can go to Discord and see if we have any other tickets that kind of seem interesting. I said a bunch of stuff on this other ticket. I see an open 1v1 on Tundra. Let's download this and read off the message from the player. So this is on Tundra versus Jammers, who's pretty strong, sitting at almost 50 OS. I think I might get this uploaded and take a quick break. I need to get some more water, stretch my legs, but looks like I think there's a few more replays we could actually do, so stay tuned. I see this 1v1, see 1, 2, 3 more 1v1s we could do actually, so I might just knock these out. There's a lot of tickets right now. I haven't done a replay reviews for the Academy in a while, or it's been a minute, so needed to do some work for that. Right, so we download the replay. Tundra, this was played May 30th. It's going to be a while. It's going to be way back there. I've been playing an embarrassing amount of games because I got a decent amount of free time going on right now. Actually, my summer class just dropped, so it's something I can work on, but let's find this replay real fast. Unfortunately, we have to dig for it. It's on Tundra, 5:30. These are all replays I've watched for sure, right? There we go. 11 minutes. So Dino Da Vinci, he said he's finally beaten his eternal rival in a 1v1. Yeah, you can send the replay file through Discord, but I will say I'd be much more interested in looking at it if it was a loss you experienced from someone, just kind of like as principle. I think it's much easier and much better to approach the game of like trying to learn from our losses, right? So I will say that, but I'd be happy to review a replay for you. I know. Thanks for watching, man. Appreciate it. Like I was saying, I'm gonna get this in. I'll give you guys. Well, how about this? I'll just take the break. I'll come back. I'll do the intro with what they submitted on the Bar Academy, and we'll take it from there. So give me like a couple minutes. Be right back. Hello, hello. I'm back, guys. Thanks for waiting for me. We're back. We've got some water. Cheers, everyone. Stay hydrated. Where were we? Yes. Looking at the submission ticket. Hey, ZMZ. Yeah, if you want to submit like a loss, preferably 1v1, I might take a look at it. There's a couple of open tickets, but if you submit one to the Bar Academy, we might pick that up on another stream, right? So let's go to, it was a 1v1 on Tundra. Gosh, I gotta find this ticket again. Okay, yeah, Dr. Sen. Okay, so Dr. Sen submits, hey, I recently started practicing 1v1s and I finally had a game with a solid start, at least in my opinion, and a fair opponent. Got that right. I'm actively working on improving my opening, taking information from yours truly. Why am I asking for a review? I'd really appreciate feedback on my build, especially unit production. I often struggle to balance scaling and building enough units. I'd love thoughts on my expansion path. Should I expand with one constructor per side or a pair of them? Question. Feedback on my transition would also help. I ended up winning with a Janus, even though I probably shouldn't have. Okay. But the transition felt late. I had also thrown away my bots earlier, which left my base vulnerable to attacks. Thanks in advance. So let me just type to him. Covered this on my stream from today. Dr. Sen. All right, we will get into this. I need to check that off, but I'll do that later. And here we are on Tundra, which is an interesting map. Once again, 14 wind speed, so you know what that means. It's okay to make solars to get to G2 fusion, right? Or use solars, leverage solars to do that. There is some energy reclaim, and these are the buff trees. These are those beefy 60 energy per second trees, so worth the investment into a Rizbot in some regards. So I've seen players who don't do it. I've seen players who do. It's just kind of a preference thing. I'm having interesting thoughts about the Rizbot, but they're incredibly OP, so everyone knows that, right? Let's take a look at this replay. Wind's going down. That's what I'm noticing here. We'll speed this up a little. Wind's going down again, so see we are getting this. Yeah, just a quick note. Let me go in your player view. Yeah, okay, so I see this. So here's something I could suggest. I know we don't have this turned on. I turned this all the way down when I cast, so I can zoom in a lot, but when I play, this is all the way turned up, right? So that's the most you can zoom in. I also have turned up the scroll zoom speed, which is this. So between not being able to zoom in and having a high scroll speed, like you're able to quickly zoom back out. Sorry, this is drawing. Quickly zoom back out and see, like, this is how you should be playing. Like, I know it's just like icon gaming, but you can see everything, you can do everything. It's really strong. Go back to making wind turbines. We're making ticks, but I would say you could even argue like maybe get a solar here and just to touch on your open as well. If you're playing bots, I think a 3 mex open would be sufficient. So just go like mex, and then the lab. I think it's just better. We're making wins. That's nice. We'll turn this player camera off. Commander's idle right here. We're accessing energy, so that's a big no-no. And then we go 2 console. That opens fairly nice. I think I just heard a tick die, did I not? I know you made more than one, right? Does this have a kill? Yeah, it does. Okay. So we spotted our enemy, right? You see where he's at. Nice, which is fair. I mean, I'd pay 20 metal for that, right? To know where my opponent's at, 20 metal at the start of the game. Seems like a fair trade, and we have this other tick over here, so you know where to send it. And you even spotted the Rizbot too, so fairly greedy open, I guess. So not to be too worried about like 4 pawns running up into your base, which is nice to know. So we get the 2 cons expanding. One goes here and here. All right. So just a note on the expansion path, say we had gone 1, 2, 3 mexes. Suddenly the first con that comes out can walk right here. Take this mex as our 4th mex, put the radar there. And then like, I mean, you can either expand to mid, or I like to expand this way over here to that 3 mex. And then here. And then your second con could be going this way to these 3 mexes, right? So a bit more efficient in terms of like how quickly we're getting to which things we want to be targeting is like these 3 mexes. This one's kind of awkward to defend. And then of course, like this is a super like rich zone rich zones in terms of mexes, right? That being said, we got 2 cons. That's basically the name of the game. And 1v1s, like make 2 cons, expand, defend them with radar and units, which we're making a lot of pawns right now. I'd say we should be sending those across the map instead of playing defensively with them. We want to be using ticks to see these grunts or where they are in terms of the map, right? So yeah, you can't really chase grunts, can you? You can intercept them though, which makes him after micro, which is nice. We have this LLT here that's already finished. That's incredible. And our pawns get D-gunned. And then to touch on what we talked about earlier with the incisors, or excuse me, blitzes without the scouts. Now we have pawns without scouts. And then I think, I don't know, we'll see what happens. Okay, you dodged it, but we ended up losing it to an LLT, which you can just back up, you know, no reason for that to happen. We're adding on the construction turret, which maybe it could be a little early, I'd say. Maybe wait for these 2 mexes to be turned on before adding that, but we're getting a 3rd con out, which is nice. Yeah, it's actually kind of say if we like changed our open a little bit with the expansion, we'd probably be, this is nice too, yeah. Might be in a little bit better position in terms of like total metal. He is actually expanding with his commander, which is a little more quick than expanding with cons, right? But you have less units because you're like less units and less win because you're not assisting the lab with the commander, right? And he's doing a big no-no right now, which is making 2 con turrets with 2 separate cons, I'd say. But we're not here to criticize jammers. Start thinking about adding on an energy storage right now. Oh, we don't have, okay. So do we have 1100 metal to make? No, 317. All right. So we're walking out. I think I'd say make an energy storage. That's the only thing I'd clean up. Oh, we do have one. Okay, really nice. Yeah, this is great. This is so awkward to take, and I actually don't mind having this. I might add like a radar there and an LLT or something like that. Put an LLT like over here. But getting units over to this lane is just like ridiculous. But we're sending our commanders to mid. That's nice. We've got units out on the map. Also good. Seeing we're a little radar light. Okay. And well, you have the resbot out. So yeah, I would always just like focus on if a con goes down, pay attention. If a con goes down and you have a resbot, just res the con with the resbot. Yeah, 2 cons expanding. I like that. Making LLTs. Also fine. He's made a vehicle transition, and where are we at in terms of, okay, now we have a bunch of metal. Okay, so right, yeah, make a second lab, right? With 10k energy in the bank, so making a 3rd con turret. Really nice, and a vehicle lab, so well done. And oh, he did something really smart, which is turned this way and go to mid instead of finishing and going to these 3 mexes, right? So that's really smart. Now he's in this great position, and whoa! I think he could have just won the game right there if he had walked forward with your commander and attacked with those pawns, right? But he traded all his HP, and he's making LLTs, right? So it's like you have to like press that advantage. Press that space advantage, right? Maybe this still have the bot lab out. We made a bunch of resbots. Holy shit, 7 resbots. I don't know if I like that many. I was gonna say with the vehicle lab, like maybe we could have made a few blitzes because they're just pretty fast, right? And the game's still going a little crazy. And I see this like huge attack over on the left side, which is faster moving blitzes will make it easier to defend a big attack like this. So let's slow the game down a little bit. These two cons came to mid as well. So I'd start thinking about reclaiming the lab at this point. Maybe adding on a second energy storage because I see we're accessing a bit. We have a full energy bar, so it's a good time to add on another energy. And this commander is so low.
Commander
Yeah, that's how you do it. So, yeah, well played. Nice, yeah, play there. This attack looks a little scary. I guess we have one beamer here. Probably add on another right there or something like that. And this is actually a really scary attack. 8 incisors behind it too, so could definitely do some damage, like just running around like this, because this many medium tanks I don't think is enough to stop this, right? So good thing to end the game here. But yeah, well played. I'd say just submit another ticket. And what things did we really note, honestly? Really the open, I'd say, and like getting the 3 mechs open, doing a 3 mechs open, and making your second lab transition a little cleaner. Because I'd say having 1100, like having enough metal to have already paid for it, like I think obviously it could have been down a little faster. So you're also accruing metal like as the lab is building, but you know, having the 3 con turrets is really nice. Having the energy storage, the wind scaling, all looks fine. I think there's one other thing I wanted to add. Maybe make some blitzes first. You can reclaim the bot lab after you have like this many res bots out. This is like a blunder actually. Yeah, 10 res bots, I'd say it's a bit of a blunder. Maybe make like 5 or something like that, and like 10 more pawns, and then reclaim that bot lab and go air, right? Is there anything else? Can't think of anything straight away. I thought there was one more thing I was going to say, but I'm kind of blanking on it at the moment. So I guess that means we can move to another ticket. So got camel, let's say at camel is on my screen from today. Okay, let's grab this replay, read the submission ticket for you guys. Camel, when was that played? 05:30. Okay, so right around the same time, and on Crystallized Plains. You already said that. All right, let's find this game. There it is. I'll get this loaded up and we'll read the ticket. Camel writes, "Hello, I'm here again to leech off your knowledge and expertise. This time, a 1v1 on planes. I feel like I was a bit too passive and got caught by the bombing run with my pants down. Of course, any kind criticism is welcome, no matter how small." Well, great attitude. I like pointing out small, nitpicky mistakes anyways, so I guess it works. I blunder. I hit the skip button without both players being loaded. All right, let's see how this goes down. Max 3 wins. One's going down. I see. I guess. Yeah. Okay. Now you make the solars. That works out pretty well. Con first. I like that. Going back to wins. when we're stalling energy, also good. Radar's a little early because we're still kind of stalling energy. You could have made like a few more wind turbines there. Get the resbot out, also good. I mean, this looks fine so far, right? 2 cons expanding, defending them with units and radar, right? Checks out. Maybe like move some grunts into the radar shadows. But we see he is also grunts, as these 2 mexes. So one thing to note, I'd say, is just we're stalling energy, right? What does the commander draw? So he's only drawing 66 right now, which I know isn't like what he could be drawing, making a construction turret. So, excuse me, I think it's like, yeah, making more wins right now at this moment would be good. I don't think we're making anything else super energy intensive. I guess the LLT, but right now I'd be like, I'm just noticing this big energy deficit right now. Of course, wind is stalling, but we're low on metal, so we can't like make a solar with our commander. That's not like the most efficient thing we could be doing. But I think at 9 wind speed, it wasn't too terribly low there. We could have been making wind turbines with our commander. This looks good so far. We're moving out and expanding. We see this on radar, which is nice. Just doing normal things, kiting back, okay. Second Rizbot, I don't hate that, but oof. Reclaim? Okay, nice. This is scary. I always like to put an LLT right there because it's always scary when like units get trapped, or units get behind this, right? Which is not ideal. Okay, you got lucky. Got a forward radar, which is good. We're expanding with 2 cons. We're making more radars with those cons, which I do like as well. And making out. So this has been, yeah, this has been really nice, I'd say. So far, so good. I think I'd make almost. I'm almost saying like tempted to say make a second con turret, but this is okay. Get the energy storage, then make a second con turret, which I see. Okay, that looks really nice. We've got plenty of energy, really well balanced energy. We're expanding with our commander. Oh, yeah, all this looks good so far. Taking more build power. Here's what I'd say, like maybe we can think about making a solar, right? 300 metal, energy was low. But we're making another con turret, which is a bit of a blunder, right? It's like you can see we're stalling energy, so you really got to watch it. Like if you're thinking about making a con turret, take a look at the energy bar, right? And ask yourself, right, can I pay for this? Because there are 3,200 energy. And if you have 0 energy in the bank and you're stalling, it's like, answer is obviously no. Nice transition to vehicles though. I'd be making incisors out of that because my opponent's making grunts. That was a nice trade by him, but there is a resbot here. So that's going to make your life a lot easier. I think at this point I'd reclaim the bot lab, and we even have a resbot here to help that, right? So reclaim the bot lab, start making incisors. Make an LLT here. I'm just kind of worried about that. Yeah, losing those resbots was not ideal. I think we're gonna lose another one, right? Oof. And I see 2 resbots here. Wow, okay, well you killed 3 of them. I'd be making another LLT. Yeah, we're trying to. Right? Okay, so we've got 1,500 metal, 7,000 energy, which is nice. And you're making another con turret, good. But you need to like snap be making. This is tough. I guess it's too late. You can't make an air lab. I think you would take too much damage, but you got to make anti-air towers and whistlers, right? So is it XA click, left click, XA click, and then make some lashers. Do that. Okay, there's a con over here. Make a anti-air tower, and then did we lose a con over here? Yeah, that con. Can't make one with that, but I'd make like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then make an air lab, because you just can't. You like have to make an air lab. If your opponent has air, like you just have to make an air lab. There's just no other way around it. Okay, so he gets a nice stack of wins. I'd be making solars now. So like, select a con, Z, X, left click on a con turret, right click on the solar, grab a con, ZX, space, left click on a con tower, right click on the solar, right? And I'd either be making solars with my commander, right? Sit there and make solars. So you gotta go through this, like get over this energy hump, like make 2 or 3 solars, and then back to scaling energy, right? And then one thing to note, I'd say, is like we could kind of spread out our construction turrets a little better. Like put one here, here, right? Thing like that. So when you are like making these big solars or extra anti-air towers or extra factories, right, and scaling wind, you've got a lot more energy or a lot more space to work, right? But yeah, basically, yeah, we're doing the right things. We're making solars with our commander. Well done. I guess not a bad little counterattack. Like maybe you could have ran this way, but you know, I have this omniscient vision. That would have been like a devastating attack, honestly, because I don't think he would have been able to do anything besides like make an LLT here really quickly. But okay, moving on to medium tanks. Nice. We're gonna be having another thing to note is you can actually get like geos on this map. I'd be going for this geo once I had like an energy storage and a decent amount of wind, right? I just take 2 cons, go over there, make the geo, and maybe go back to like scaling wind or something like that. Yeah, so we spent the metal bank. We've got radars up. You gotta continue making those. Making the every time I say something, you start doing it. It's kind of funny. This is a little scary, right? Which is, yeah, a bunch of medium tanks. At first I thought it was a group of incisors, but it's just one incisor and a bunch of medium tanks, so we're getting some counter damage. I don't really like attacking main bases like that because kind of leave the metal, and these incisors and medium tanks are going to find a lot of damage there. Oof. Yeah, so not the worst game in the world, honestly. Like you're doing a lot of the things correctly, just maybe not in the right order, or maybe not as quickly as you should be doing. But between the energy stalling, making the con turrets, and then like having a bunch of metal in the bank, I think we could really clean up that part of our macro play, which will just let you have more units out. So like, okay, you could have had a little army to defend this and that army over here to defend that, because you just, I mean, you'll have more units, right? Can't say it better than that. So hope you like this one, Camel. Appreciate you submitting the ticket, and come back for some more, man. And of course, any other mentors are encouraged to leave their own feedback as well. All right. moving on. I think there was one more. Yeah, here's another one. Jam time. On Altair Crossing, this was played June 3rd. Okay. He says, "What should I have done? I know shouldn't have made Banshees or walked into LLT at the end, but what else?" So we'll take a look. This map's pretty different from what players typically play on, but what is this? I don't think this is the right file. All right, I got that uploaded. Take a refresh here. And this was played, yeah, Altair Crossing, June 3rd. So find this replay real fast. Here it is. Might not review this whole one. I'm just assuming there's some early game macro mistakes. So, see, it's Jam Time 24 OS versus Dustbeam 23.63. All right.
Battle started.
Take a look at this open. This map's a lot different in a lot of ways. It's very small. It's 27 wind speed, so very high wind, and there's also metal and energy reclaim on it. So that means it's like a little like things just happen so much faster, right? All right, that's just obviously a blunder, right? You need to like that wasted build power and like a little bit of a wiggle your commander did. You need to be making wind turbines right before the lab. You realize that pretty immediately though, but still a small error. Going for that 3 mechs open. I'm almost inclined to say like, oh wait, what are we doing? Okay, that walk also bad. So seeing a couple little like macro mistakes so far, right? Like all of this is wasted build power. So thing I heard from Kuchi I really like is you have to think of walking with build power. Like build power that isn't doing anything is like accessing it, so to speak. So if you tallied up, 45 seconds times 300 build power and had that number as like a total, like the max you could have, and then divide what you actually did, you'd have like how much there'd be a percentage of how much more efficient you could be with your build power. And I'd argue it's not negligible, right? So we're going for this. What was I going to say though? Oh yeah, it's like given the nature of that it's such a high wind speed map and there is metal reclaim out, I'd say you could probably even like get away with doing like a 2 max open or something like that, even a 1 max open. I'd have to like see the math, right? Or some math nerd could show me which one's like truly better, but cutting this max for a faster resbot like isn't the worst thing in the world to me. But okay. Kind of got away with the doing 2 wind turbines, right? And yeah, we're adding on more. I think we might do a little bit of a walk for that one, but we'll see. And we're going resbot first, which is nice. Not sure if you go for the metal or the energy reclaim, but yeah, see, even like this walking here, we can like tidy all this stuff up, which is pretty easy to do, right? Just kind of being aware of it. And yeah, going for a con, so don't hate that either. Ticks. Still walking with the commander, getting the radar up, which is nice. Getting a con turret. Commander's idle, so also not good. So seeing a lot of these like very small little macro errors that we could really improve on. Trying to shoo away this commander. And now we have like 2 grunts right around our main base, which I think this might actually get really out of hand, yeah, the resbot's gonna go down. Ooh, he saved it. Okay, so not bad recovery. Losing the resbot isn't ideal. But I just say this, like, the contour's finished. Like there's still metal in the bank to spend, right? I think I would still approach this from, because I see the commander walking and I'm thinking this is not good, right? Oh, walking away. I know I touched on like the little like tiny walks and macro mistakes we've been doing, but like literally stepping out of the main base with the commander, which I'd say we're pretty close to doing. Like we can't assist the lab anymore, which is a good tell of that, but we can still spend our starting metal more. We can still say like we have 341 metal, so like to me this just screams like we're doing something wrong, right? We need to be assisting the lab. If we're low on energy and we can't use all that build power, we need to be making wind turbines, right? So that's just like the biggest thing I'd focus. Like walking up, making this LLT to like quickly defend yourself against like some early grunts is like okay. One thing you can do against like on a map like this, I'd be thinking, okay, how do I get Centurions on the board, right? Because pretty strong against grunts. Making a second LLT, which I don't like because it's right next to your lab. I mean, this one was like to defend yourself, like there was like an immediate danger, right? So yeah, okay, that one's like, all right, you kind of got me, but this one I think I wouldn't have made. Lose another resbot. Come down here, make this. All right. Yeah, so a couple things I've noticed or I'm seeing is just not having the macro tools we need, which would be energy storage, another contract, because we still have like 200 metal in the bank, which can pay for a contract, right? 210 can already buy another contract, and I see we're like accessing wind. Well, like no, we're pretty well balanced, but I mean you can't have, it wouldn't hurt to have a few more wind turbines, which would make you excess more, which we're just approaching that time where you'd want to make an energy storage, right? So we need, do you make that quickly here? I'm seeing this like we need to make a contour and an energy storage. This is nice, picking up 3 stream X's. These ones get killed, but we can like make 2 resbots to res these 2 resbots and then start resing these Rex. See, we have a resbot over here, which could be resing resbots, right? And picking up these mexes. Oh, there's no mex, but there is an L2 we could make, so. And then I guess the next phase of this game, like once you've moved out of like the grunt phase, because you have LLTs and Centurions, he's going to be making rocket bots, right? Which is just make rocket bots, maybe transition to vehicles, something like that, but having extra contours will really help that. Yeah, this is a nice raid, yeah. Not bad. Just making pawns on repeat. Doesn't hurt. Okay, so how much damage does this do? A lot. And we turn back around. Alright. Well, I guess the game's kind of over. I'd say it's over. I don't want to really look much past this, but yeah, I think there's a good amount of stuff we can clean up on. Keep the commander in the main base. Don't move out of that main base unless you have 1 contour and your energy storage. I say energy storage because you will have made enough wind turbines to justify making it, right? Which in my mind means like you're using the commander like just assisting the lab or making wind turbines, right? Or assisting a contour, right? But those are some big things to pick up on, I'd say. On a small map like this that's kind of fairly choky, I'd say maybe get some Centurions out, like 1, 2, 3. Centurions, one in each lane. Don't be so greedy with the build power. Like, go like con first 2 ticks, and you will see the grunt coming across the map. Because I think you could have like a pawn out a little earlier. I think you had like, well, like not like having more pawns to not lose res bots is the play. But I did like your open, like the generally, right? It's like you got the res bot first, got the conjure it up fairly early, assisted it, and then moved out. But there's some things we can clean up there for sure. So hope that helps. If you, yeah, I would say I would just like resign from here. I don't know. You could like play it out, but I don't really think there's any way to like recover from this position, right? Maybe if you had like 3 or 4 res bots and you just sat here and made wind turbines with your commander, you might be able to like find a win because you have a decent amount of like army on the board. But past that, I would just concede, honestly. So, anyways, hope that helps, man. Thanks for submitting the ticket. We checked out that. We did 1, 2, 3. We did 4 reviews, so I think that's good enough for me. Is there any like interesting lobbies we can jump into? Oh, so small team game scrims. Okay, Nation Wars practice. I want to check this out. All right, so let's jump into this. I'll just end the stream on a chill like small team game, and then a little bonus footage at the end. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream. If you can, hit the like button. Let me know what you want to see. Small team games, more reviews, 8v8s, 1v1s. Yeah, I'll show them to you guys.
Battle started. Commander has died. Commander.
Hey, I'm back. Where are we at in this game? We got Team France versus Flying Duck and some other random players. Looks like Vader's like doing the macro style, so he's just macroing, giving out units to his teammates. Oh, is Legion enabled in Nation Wars? This is the first time I've seen this turret. Vader's just making a bunch of T2 aircons. I don't know if I really like that. He's got 2 fusions. Spamming scouts. A bunch of hoplites back here. Okay, but I mean, there's like a Czar here, some tigers. He's got a decent army comp. I wonder what his plan is to for this T2 air. Wait, is he? Okay, sorry, this is his teammate. Thinking LRPC, really? They're making an Aphis. This is almost finished. I mean, I guess this is going up fairly quickly, I guess. Pretty interesting. Ooh, this has a huge queue. 16 players, wow. OP Rotato Lobby is alive and well, right? What is this? 10 times 105, alright. Yeah, it's like an Aphis. I don't think it's the play. A shotgun hover tank. That's just a lot of units. But they don't have the army value advantage, right? It's just going to the blue team. Well, a lot of that is in air. That's a good scout. Railgun shot down the scout. Yeah, Vader spotted the Aphis though building. Wonder what he's shooting at. So yeah, there's Hoplite versus T2 tanks and oh, his commander's right there. Okay, so the D-guns are good so far. I mean, he killed like a couple of tigers, right? But all those units are dead. I mean, he could really just like push right into this lane. There's like nothing stopping him from there. Like T2 air already out. This is firing at like nothing. I don't know what he's shooting at. Alright, well this is a nice attack. Does he just kill this? Yeah, he just right clicks on the Aphis. See how fast this dies. I don't think it's going to be taken out, and that there's just enough AA here. It's so close, though. Yeah, ends up going down. But these Banshees cleaning up the, it's so funny these Gremlins can target that. Yeah, you just need to walk this army forward. Oh, it looks like these shotgun tanks actually rolled over, jumped in here. How much are tactical missile launchers and compared to the T2 artillery? 1200 metal versus 2500. So they're actually... Now, what I don't know is, I know so little about this. How many missiles does it take to kill? Like, what can you kill with this? Is it like one shot, like anti-nukes and geos and stuff like that, right? These some interesting numbers to know. The shotgun tank's doing work right now. They're like completely... Oh yeah, that's right. Gremlins do like no damage. Goblins do like no damage. Hmm. Yeah, I don't think that Aphis is gonna match last longer. I mean, there is one single fighter kind of flying around. Okay, it kills one of them. Is that a T2 Fig? I don't think so. That is a T2 Fig. Yeah, see that splash damage. Oh my gosh, all these bombers are dying. What?
Commander has died.
Dude, anti are strong or something. Like, those bombers are getting like one shot. Okay, T3 is finally out here for Vader. He's had enough. And now there's no anti-air in the main base. I wonder if Vader knows that. He just keeps making this fighter screen. Yeah, so I actually need to register for that Nation Wars tournament. I need to register the team.
Commander has died.
Oh, that's last con.
Battle.
Right on. Well, I think I'll end it there, guys. Definitely enjoyed doing the Bar Academy stream. I'll try and like advertise it more in the future, so people will know about maybe perhaps the people that review it might show up or can ask questions. Anyways, hope you guys like the stream. If you can, hit the like button, leave a comment, let me know what you want to see more of, and I'll be sure to bring it to you in the future. So thanks for watching.